I am looking forward to this. The records are now open. I've missed you all so much. Calling all the masters into the sacred container. Wait, I didn't practice using my bowl with my wardrobe today. I gotta practice with my wardrobe before I go live. Make sure it all works. Welcome, everyone, to Akashic Answers with Emily. If this is the first time you are here, let us know that you are a first timer. And if you are one of our regular loyal audience members here at the Akashic Academy, please say hello so I can say hello back to you. If this is the first time that you are joining, let me introduce myself. I'm Emily Harrison, founder director of the Akashic Academy. And my area of expertise is, of course, in the Akashic Records. I mentor visionaries and thought leaders to tap into the space of their Akashic Records so they can extract instantaneous information. Our visionaries, our thought leaders, they know the importance of information. We need this for a lot of reasons. We need this for understanding our patterns, what we're creating so that we can create differently. We need soul level, instantaneous information to expand our innovation, to tap into higher frequencies of our mind where we can access universal consciousness. We can access all information, past, present, and future, through our Akashic Records. And we also get to see ourselves through a completely different perspective when we tap into the records. So I am excited to share with you all how the records work today, meaning you get a firsthand experience. Of course, learning how to read your own Akashic Records, which is very, very important, something that we all have the ability to do and we all need to learn to tap into. But this is a path of self-mastery. And I talked about in the opening text of this episode of this broadcast, I want to share with you all what the number one skill is that you need to cultivate in order to be good at reading the Akashic Records. Because you don't want me to read it for you. You want to be able to tap in and read your own records. So if you are ready to get down today with a little bit of wisdom and love and expansion and transmission, here, hi, Lindsay, Aaron, Jordan. Send some love likes, hearts across the screen. It has been a while since I've been on live. I've been recovering from COVID. Actually, I would love to know from all of you out there, how many of you guys have had COVID? Who's experienced some strain of this really interesting virus, I guess we'll call it. Timeline cruncher, shifter, expander, making everybody super rad. Lots of really interesting ideas around what COVID is actually bringing into our field. I'll just share with you all. Tara said she got over it. Cool. Yeah, what I've tapped into and seen around COVID is this. And I say that, I hesitate about what I've tapped in and seen around COVID because I want you to have a firsthand experience of what it's like to get information. Because when I say I tapped in to see what I get around COVID, it seems like it's a very, it seems really woo-woo, right? You are likely tapping in and seeing what you're getting around COVID too. And here's what it looks like in the human experience when we're not self-aware, okay? The number one skill that you need to cultivate to be good at reading the Akashic Records is self-awareness, okay? I know if I went off onto a tangent there, I was going to forget what I wanted to tell you about self-awareness. I got COVID head still a little bit. Let me see if I want to tap in, because the guys were dropping that in. Self-awareness, COVID. Remember you guys type in for me, remember the last thing that you remember me saying. This is why I don't go live when I'm in the midst of healing. So my brain goes all these different directions and then evaporates. It'll come back. But there's something that I wanted to tell you about Self-awareness is the answer to the question as we came in here together today. What is the number one skill you need to cultivate? But then I was going to show, oh yes, self-awareness, what it looks like to tap in. Thank you guys. What does it look like to look into your crystal ball and say, tell me about COVID? It's not really like that. Here's what it looks like. It looks like things that drop into my field, whether I don't see a whole lot on the news because I don't watch the news, but I have other colleagues and friends who are visionaries, thought leaders, intuitives, who are very interested in tapping in and seeing, I guess, creating their own, what do we call those, theories around what's going on. And they're based in a lot of science and a lot of information that's out there. And pieces from these well-studied, respected colleagues of mine will drop into my field, or my own personal experience, or what I hear from friends and talking from their experience, my family's experience, right? We have a combination of experience, of intelligence that comes into our field, and of aha moments that come into our field. And when you begin to take all of those things together and you truly are in this inquisitive state of reflection around COVID and what it all means, you're going to have ideas drop into your mind. That's what when I say this is what I've looked into in the field, that's the experience that I've had. So the wonders, the hunches, the thinking man's. So see, you're tapping into the field, and you're coming up with your own stories that illuminate patterns that make sense. What makes sense to me, what I find interesting, I don't even know, I might take back what I said there about making sense, because making sense invites our logical mind to deconstruct it. What if? What if, right? So with COVID, I think of the dimensional shift that's talked about on our planet here, where there is, and sometimes you will hear this same storyline. Sometimes you'll hear it talked about like the apocalypse. Or when I was growing up in the church, I was really afraid of, was it called the apocalypse? And there was the revelation, and there are lots of spiritual prophecies about how the end of times played out. That just scared me a little bit. 7 seals, all of that. I think that's the same prophecy, or we could even call it like a legend. We could call it, you guys, you follow me. Prophecy. Remember, brain is still coming back, right? Okay, so there's the talk of this shift, the solar flash, where we separate dimensions on the Earth plane, and the 3D and the 5D become very separate. My hunch, my wonder, I feel like Corona-19, that's what it was called in the beginning. I saw very early on, oh, this is a timeline collapse. Within that first 6 months of going into lockdown and everyone on the planet dealing with this pandemic, the timelines that every single one of us were on were completely different. 6 months, a year down the line, it looks completely different. So I began to wonder, I wonder if this is the component in that. Okay, that solar flash or that solar flare may or may not be. I don't know, just sharing with you. The theories, this is what it looks like. Hello, Miss Nancy. For me, when I talk about, and there are times when I do sit down very ceremonially and I ask very specific questions. You're going to get to experience some of that, which, by the way, if you haven't started typing your questions in the chat box, go ahead and do that. So we are going to get to some questions after this teaching today. And even if I don't go to your questions specifically, I want you to know just asking in this space is inviting forward illumination, inviting forward insight from your guides. It's a good idea. Always a good idea to do. Okay, so I want to go back to the skill. Nirma, I see your comment coming up here. self-confidence. Actually, before I continue on with the training, let me just ask you all, please share this out. This is going to be a really powerful training, regardless of, haven't said, I was going to say the F word. Do I really need to say the F word? This is going to be a powerful training, regardless of how the F woo you are. You woos, if you're very woo-woo, you're going to see the quantum magic and how you get to use this. But this is good for even our layman or our slightly woos out there, slight woos. If you're just waking up and you're still thinking all of this is just a bunch of, but you're still here, aren't you? Okay. So the skill, the number one skill to cultivate so that you can be good at reading the Akashic Records, reading your Akashic Records, is self-awareness. Okay? And I want to talk to you why. If you do not have a high level of self-awareness, you pay a price. What I find is that without a high level of self-awareness, you make bad decisions all over your damn life. You make bad decisions in your relationships. You make bad decisions with your finances. You make bad decisions on what to eat on a day-to-day basis. And if we don't understand our patterns and we don't understand how to have self-awareness and to work with our energy, we show up making these bad decisions. And when you make a string of bad decisions in your life, you are opening up a timeline, a ripple effect, a string of karmic lessons that you get to learn going down that timeline. Nancy says it's true. How many of you guys have experienced that before? Let me know if you can relate to what I'm talking about here. If you don't have self-awareness, you make bad decisions. Can you see a time in your life when you've made bad decisions because you didn't have self-awareness? Here's the bigger problem. Not like that's enough already. You made bad decisions in a relationship. That shit'll get you. Bad with your finance, all of it'll get you, right? If that's not bad enough, on an energetic quantum level, what happens is you stop trusting yourself to make good decisions. Who can relate to that? And when we stop trusting ourselves to make good decisions, generally what I find is we make no decision at all and we move into a place of stagnation. Melinda says, I can relate. Tara says, yes. Lisa Valentine says, hey. Yes, mindfulness is the key for sure. Beautiful. Julie asked a great question. Is meditation the best tool for manifesting? Man, I would love to think about that and answer it in a million different ways. It caught my eye and I don't want to derail too much. But what the guides are saying is that self-awareness is the best tool for manifesting, because manifesting is about being a vibrational match to that what you want. That's what you need to be good at manifesting. So if meditation is what helps you become a vibrational match to what it is that you want, then by all means, yes, it's definitely a great way to do it, right? But it's about having self-awareness for you. What helps you become a frequency match to your vision, what you want to create? First of all, you got to know what it is. You got to get specific about it. And then you got to dissect what that feels like from a vibrational standpoint. And if you know those things, those are the pieces that you need to technically manifest or make material that which you want to experience. Okay, but it's really about knowing yourself. Right on, so good. Okay, let's talk about why decisions are so important. If you get frozen in a space of your life where you can't make powerful and innovative and exciting decisions for yourself, your growth is completely stunted. Nothing changes, okay? If nothing changes, nothing changes. And if you are in a place where you have fear around making decisions and taking control of your life, you're going to stay in the 3D. And y'all don't want to stay in the 3D, okay? This is why we need the Akashic Records, so that we can begin to have the revelation from a clear perspective, God perspective, not with the blind spots that we have going in. Why do we have blind spots? Because we have rigid thinking. Rigid thinking is what creates blind spots. Okay? We're designed to be able to see 360 degrees. And if we keep our energy frequency high enough, we absolutely will. If this is landing in your field, send some love likes, hearts across the screen. It is 1:11, my time. I am going to take a moment and share this out. If this is serving you, share this out, and then we're going to get to questions. All right? Tap in your questions. Type in your questions. And what we're going to do next is I'm going to allow Spirit to bring my awareness to questions that will support the entirety of the container that we're creating here today as we're coming together. And then also channel through a transmission that will help you embody a shift as your whatever the topic you guys and the guides and Spirit brings up. They will not only illuminate and educate us on this topic, but they will also bring through an energetic transmission that will help us embody as we move forward with our days. Okay. I'm finding me here on Facebook. Thank you for your patience. Thank you all too who are all sharing this out. And just a reminder, type in your questions because that's where we are going next. I'm going to start channeling in the questions, the answers. And again, the more people that we have here together with us, joining us, the more positive energy and momentum that we create. So I'm just going to take this moment and share out. And thank you all for sharing out as well. One of the most important things we can do. All right. There we got some questions rolling in. Nirma says, please give me the confidence to translate the message of heaven in a quick, positive way. Whew, that is so good, Nirma. All right, that one, I'm looking for my wand. I'm like, where's my damn wand? That one is best on transmission. I'm going to just call for that transmission right now. And I'm also going to give everybody some vocabulary again on the essence of what Nirma's talking about here. Because I just spoke about this earlier with my Akashic alchemists, my students and clients who are not only traveling with me for a year, but training with me inside a very high level quantum container, doing the deep self work. Okay. We talked about the importance of understanding that while we each have individual unique messages and experiences and legacy here to create on the planet, there's something very beautiful and powerful that we all have in common. It's the same about all of us. And at this point in time on the planet, it's a problem, it's a challenge, and that is taking the intangible and making it more tangible. Taking the message of heaven that Nirma is connected to and that that vibrates within her DNA that she carries, and translating that into something tangible that allows another person to have an experience. Really interesting time to be a human if you are a light worker and a vision keeper and a mystic and a visionary here on the planet. Not a lot of places where you figure out how to do that. Welcome to finding the right space. So Nirma, while we can't break down specifically how to do each one of those things today, I will ask the guides to call for a transmission for you. How many of you out there feel like it can be challenging to share the knowledge and the wisdom that you have? Even just talking to other people, to your friends and your family? Do you find that there is wisdom that's coming up that sounds way too woo-woo, so you don't say it? Feels like we're tapping into the yep. Cool, you guys feel that? Yes, it's true. Yes, resonate. Thank you. Cool, that's where that confidence that Nirma's asking for. Where's the confidence? Okay. Yeah, the confidence comes in the doing. The guides are saying right now. Nancy likes sounding woo-woo. I like it. How do we not sound crazy? When we are so ignited by, okay, here's how to not sound crazy, just to answer that question as directly as I can, Crystal Bird. How do we not sound crazy? Take some time to get really clear and focus on how meditation or how the woo or how the magic that you're bringing into your life is supporting you and what it's doing for you. And stay so connected to knowing and having self-awareness around how it's helping you. If you do that, all you have to do is make a list of, hey, how is the meditation really helping me? What am I noticing about myself? How am I able to show up differently? And you'll get inspired by that. And you'll begin to see it working. And when you begin to see it working, it's really fun and easy to talk about it. Okay? But the confidence comes in the doing. So I'm going to invite everyone who wants to experience more confidence in communicating your wisdom and your knowledge and your woo. Do a quick journaling activity with yourself. And get clear on the ways that this is helping you. How has this changed me? This is a great question. Asking yourself the right questions will unlock anything that you need in your life. Okay? Here's the question. What is possible for me now that wasn't possible for me before? You know, in our current society, we're experiencing a renaissance, a reemergence of divine feminine energy. And the divine feminine gets her power through introspection and through reflection. And we've stopped asking ourselves the right questions. What we've done is we've shifted from a society who asks questions and seeks knowledge through this curiosity, and we've become so damn reactive that we don't even know we have a choice to seek insight. I'm trying to emote and flick my hair all at the same time because it's okay. All right, let's bring through, there was transmission that came through in the very beginning there of Nirma's. I want to bring through a little transmission at the end and then go to another question. Thank you so much, Nirma. Let me see what Spirit would like to bring in for the second half of that transmission. Okay, we need some tapping. So Spirit, let's see, I've got this is my left hand, tapping heart, sternum, and then right hand in the solar plexus, just a few inches above the belly button. And just tapping. So our body, what we're doing right now is I've intuitively been drawn to these sections of the body. Okay, we've got heart chakra. Those of you that know Tai Chi, Qigong, acupuncture pressure, you know that there are lots of different meridians around. Wherever you're drawn, meaning if you are drawn in a little bit different area than I am, shift into where you're feeling it, but I'm feeling it around the heart space. One bit of tapping here and then some tapping around the solar plexus. And remember, these intuitive centers have energy that's flowing through them. And sometimes our energy gets out of balance. And remember, we can talk to these different points of our body through pulsating energy. So I want you just to follow your intuition. I'm using the end points of my fingers on both points and just tapping. And I want you to follow your intuition, whether you tap in synchronicity or if you tap in some weird pattern, it doesn't matter. But just notice, have an awareness. And just breathe. This is purging energy from the heart and the solar plexus. You want to breathe in through your nose, out through your mouth. You might notice a little uncomfortability. You just want to stay with it. It's moving the energy. We're going to take one more nice deep breath in and then release. Good. Palms. Good job. Palms up in a receptive position. Imagine just receiving a flow of abundance from the universe. Oh, yeah. Oh, my gosh. Amazing activation coming in. You guys feel the energy, feel the support coming in. Acknowledge if you want to receive this. Be an active participant in your own experience right now. And if you want to receive this abundance and this support, just say yes, yes, yes. You don't have to say it 3 times. You can just say it once. I'm saying 3 times for emphasis. In case you didn't know, I was an actress for 20 years. Beautiful. All right. Woo! I like that one. Good job. Bring myself back here. Just kidding. That was not even a fully committed Egyptian. Emily, never do a dance move unless you are going to fully commit to it ever. Okay, better? You all know I'm going to need you to clap for me after that one. Hello, actress. All right, cool. Anna says, oh my God, you're too cute. Thank you, Anna. Please, a little more applause. Okay, Barbara Parker says, can you open the records on me? What questions do I need to ask? I love it that you are asking what question to ask because the questions make all of the difference. Miss Barbara Parker. If you do not have the download known as the Akashic Scrolls, let's talk about that right now. This is an incredible resource that could be tremendously helpful to so many of you. Okay, the Akashic Scrolls is a list of questions, and it's like, yes, the questions are specific, but you're smart enough, all y'all are smart enough, that you're going to be able to read these questions and find where you can make adaptations. But the records work by what's known as invitation only, which doesn't mean the records only invite certain ones of us necessarily. While everybody can read the records, is everybody ready to? No, not everybody is ready to take a level of personal responsibility for themselves and to course correct. They want to still fix everything else around them rather than doing the work from the holographic plane known as the microcosm. So no, technically not everybody can use the records, but those who seek this information definitely can read the records. And how do we get the information out of the records? Well, when I say the records work by invitation only, the records will only give you and reveal to you what you are ready to know and receive. How do the records know that? We pose a question, and when you ask a question, the records answer you. Okay, that's kind of a woo-woo crystal ball way to look at it. Let me explain it to you in a different way. We know from the 7 Hermetic principles, everything as above, so below. Microcosm, macrocosm. Everything is whole and complete. We also know yin and the yang, all of the energies are inherently complete. If we have a problem or something that we want to seek intelligence around, all we have to recognize is that when we gaze upon a problem from the God perspective, we will find the solution. We know that inherently the solution already exists within the problem because everything is whole and complete. I just heard my teenage son refer to the cat as an asshole. Apollo must be climbing his leg. So asking the right questions or where to illuminate the God perspective very specifically allows us to find the solution or find the healing point. But there is some nuance. It's not super easy just to curate or craft questions. This is something that I work on with my visionaries, my thought leaders, the entrepreneurs that I train, and that is developing the ability to be good at asking questions. But we do have a resource, the Akashic Scrolls. I'm just going to grab it quickly right now and plug it in there for you guys so you don't have to go back and do it. But I highly recommend that you download this because the Akashic Scrolls is a resource that I downloaded from the guides originally just for my Akashic Records students to help them get really good at asking the questions. And then a year or so ago, I think, I was urged to release this to the public and share it with you all. Okay, so there it is. It's helpful questions that will help you lean into the records. I want so much to be in the right frame of mind to ask questions, but I feel blocked. Cheryl Murray. Thanks, Cheryl. I see your message on my phone, but not here. So we'll talk about that next. Feeling blocked. Oh wait, actually there I see it. I'm gonna stick with you for a bit more, Barbara. I'm bringing a message for you, and then we'll go to Cheryl about feeling blocked. Okay. All right. We can tap into the field, though. You can tap into your own field and just take a light bath, which is fantastic. Just ask your guides to attune you to the frequency of the space, okay? And then sometimes when you surrender yourself to just say, all right, I'll just receive a message, the message will come, but what I find is that it actually is very specific. It just doesn't land in a way that's specific because we haven't asked in a way that's specific. It'll sound something like, oh, love yourself more. Can you feel the love of the ancestors? Or drink more water. When we look deeper and we continue to examine, there's a phenomenal message there. But it generally doesn't come in as specific if we don't ask specifically. Okay, so Barbara, I'm going to give you the general places where I'm seeing right now to point. Mirror work coming up huge for you, Barbara. Mirror work specifically, and this is, well, damn, you just want to prove me wrong, don't you? Barbara, you got a really interesting protocol. See? You got to be willing to course correct to be good at this work. While I say you're not going to get something specific, Barbara, you got something freaking cool. And great time to say, if any of the rest of you love this, it's for you too. If you ping, you're like, oh, I love it. Okay, so the guides are saying, getting all excited, let me drink coffee. Mirror work for you, Barbara. Affirmations, positive self-talk. And I say mirror work, but it's actually, they want you to think about mirror work, but in reflection of natural water. So local creek, river, ocean. No, I'm just kidding. I don't think I've ever seen my reflection in the, maybe out in a boat in the ocean. But find some water, a bathtub, guides are saying. Ooh, good one. They're not going to reveal all of the quantum reasons behind why that's so freaking phenomenal. You all will get to explore that yourself. If you like that one, if you're going to receive that one for yourself, send the hearts and love across the screen. Ooh, that was a good one. I'm definitely doing that one. Thank you, Miss Barbara. Okay, let's go to Cheryl and let's talk about wanting to so much to be in the right frame of mind. Okay, it is really important. I'm glad that you are bringing awareness to this, Miss Cheryl. So thank you. The first thing that I want to say is that don't self-sabotage. Okay. It's okay to feel depressed and to go into your Akashic Records to seek clarity and healing and feeling better. That's okay. If you're feeling depressed, Cheryl, go in for a light bath. Because we will receive intelligence through the same energy that we're emitting it. I think when I go like this, it means emitting. You get a block there, it's all depressed. Okay. The energy is going to come back in matching that frequency. I have a lot of things to say about this. First two I already mentioned. One, you can have both things available. You can be depressed and go into your records. Okay. And it is important to recognize that it's just an energy exchange. So if you're coming in depressed and you start asking questions, the information is going to come back to you through your depressed state. So I wouldn't recommend asking questions at that point in time. I would just recommend asking for a light bath and allowing yourself to be held and feeling the energy. And you got to play along though. You got to be like, yes, breathe. And you got to let the guides bring you back into a state of oneness. You can't sit there and be like, I'm depressed. I'm not feeling anything, guides. I'm still depressed. And fuck you, I'm still depressed. No, we want to go and be like, okay, all right, I feel the energy moving and shifting. Okay, and you might have to play along with it a little bit at first. But play along. Don't let your resistant, mad, inner child, teenager take over the experience, okay? The other thing is that the right frame of mind is incredibly important as you're going into the records. And I'm going to give you guys the framework of what state of mind, if you're going to go in and ask questions, and especially if you're, 100%, if you're going in to read for anybody else, you got to transmute your own shit before you go in. That is a must. A skill of lightworkers as we do this work is that we must be able to transition through our own charges and triggers quickly. And what I find happening is that that's not always the easiest work to do. So we just bypass because we're very powerful. And so we spiritually bypass. And then what happens is our own shit backs up. And then we start finding kinks in our own flow. Kinks in being able to feel the energy and the vitality to work. Kinks in how many clients come into our field, how they come into our field. So if you are a wisdom keeper, a light worker, whether a more woo version of that, where you call yourself an intuitive healer or a life worker, or fill in the blank with any of the beautiful modalities that we have here, or look, I'm going to invite everybody to see how this shows up in the 3D as well, because our teachers and our medical staff, as far as I'm concerned, you guys are all definitely light workers as well, right? So if you are a light worker or you're here to help other people, that's a better way to say it. I should have just said that, and I could have not monologued quite so intensely there. Okay, if you are here to help others, you must be able to very quickly transmute your own triggers and charges. And if you're not good at that and you bypass it, it's going to catch up to you. If that could be somebody out here right now, is why they're hitting that so hard. If that's you, and you know Spirit is speaking to you, and you know you need to address that, you please feel free to message me privately if you want my help solving it. Okay. So when you're going into the records to ask cognitive questions and get answers, whether you're channel writing them or whether you're just allowing yourself to receive the answers for yourself or for others, here's what's most important. You've got to come in with a pure heart, which doesn't mean that you didn't purposefully do anything to poke anybody in your life. Sometimes we do. Noticing our own patterns is good. Okay, it doesn't mean that you have to be an absolute angel. It means that you're willing to see the areas where your patterning is taking over. Okay, coming in with a pure heart means being willing to see where your own patterning is out of balance. And owning that. It baffles me why so many people have, actually it doesn't, I know why. Okay, I'll go back and answer why in a second. They just answered. But I was going to say, it freaking baffles me why this is so freaking difficult for people. It's empowering to know that you fucked something up, because then you can fix it. If someone else keeps fucking something up, you're done. Those dumbasses are never going to learn. Sorry, all the bad words. I don't see my mama in here, though, today. And it's been a while. So I'm letting loose. It's been a while since I've been on. I don't know why people want to constantly blame others. It's so empowering when you realize how simply it is to shift your own field. Shift how you're showing up. Change something. Change your perspective. It's ridiculously easy to make profound change in your life if you're willing to embrace this. But why don't we embrace it? Because the only context that we have to look at and evaluate ourselves is through incredible judgment and shame. And I'm feeling the collective energy of how we've been indoctrinated to do this to ourselves, and it's making me emotional. I'm sorry if your experience has only been, or what you felt like is available to you up until this point in time, is only seeing yourself through the lens of judgment and shame. There is something different. All right. With that being said, I want to bring in one more transmission for you all. Open to receiving. If you want to be open to receiving and finding something different in your life, palms up. Oh, thank you, Miss Mel. I love you. I'm glad you're here. And let's just breathe. In order to do this work, we've got to be able to receive. Okay, we've got to be able to receiving energy. It's the feminine energy. It's giving ourselves permission to be in the flow. I want to just have everybody have the opportunity to fully integrate here all this energy today. Nice deep fluid breaths, palms up in a receptive position. Feel your feet connected to the earth. Let's take 7 deep synchronized breaths together here. Okay, just to consecrate the field, the work that we've done today, and create a sealing in the energy so that it'll stay with you all for the rest of the day while you fully receive what's here for you. Deep breath in. Nice slow exhale. If you want to bring your palms to prayer position, thumbs on the heart, and slight bit of pressure against the hands, you'll create a nice balance within the left and right hemispheres of the brain. Breath number 2. I challenge you to stay with me here. It'd be very easy to hang up and go to your next thing. Stay with me for all 7 breaths. Here's breath number 3. You notice yourself wanting to exit the sacred classroom. Stay with that resistance. Challenge yourself to stay with the breath. This is breath number 4. We only got to get to 7. Deep breath in. Release the breath. Come on, you owe this to yourself. Stay with it. This is so much easier than Jillian Michaels anyway. Breath number 5. Deep breath in. Two more. Stretch out this time, this now moment. Be the alchemist you are and freeze time. Deep breath in. We're not really freezing it, but becoming so present to it. Good, one more breath. Oh, you all are doing it. I'm so proud of you. Look at that. All 20 of you live, you're still here. Release with a vocalization. Wow. Great job. Ow! That was fun. If you had fun, I'm going to just invite you one more time. Share this out. If this was valuable to you and you have fun, share it out. Let me know in the comments below that you had fun today and that this was powerful for you. I loved it. Thank you all for allowing me to share the Akashic Records with you. For those of you who are ready for a deeper dive, there are experiences that are being called forward for you. Allie McKenzie in the house. Yeah, love this. Love you too, Allie. Glad that we could share this with you. Of course, we've got Rhonda. Yeah. We've got Sedona coming up, in-person vortex experience, just ridiculous levels of magic, along with opportunity for deep dive into the Akashic Records, for certification, for personal certification, or for adaptation to aspects of your vision that you are already building. Reach out. Let's have a conversation about what supports you, and I love you all. So good to be with you today. Bye.